The world of MMA is never scarce of drama. Everything from the preparation to the big fight is highly publicized and broadcasted. But what secrets are hiding once the lights go off? When all the punches are thrown and bones broken, what do fighters do to heal? Jump with us into the world of MMA after hours and learn how fighters recover after brutal fights that leave them rattled. First up, what does it feel like? The simple answer, it depends. If you're lucky, your opponent submits quickly and it's all over in a blink of an eye. In that case, the next day can be pretty chill, but sometimes you aren't that lucky. Any fighter knows that they need to respect the grind to get to the top. Unfortunately, in their case, the grind includes several punches, bruises, and broken bones. In order to make a name for yourself, you have to win a tough fight. What's a tough fight though? One that goes upwards of 15 to 20 minutes. Can you imagine what 20 minutes of constant fighting does to your body? Yeah, it's not good. Fighters best describe the feeling as going through several car crashes in one night. They often can't move or perform basic tasks. UFC lightweight Scott Holtzman says that he has to ask his wife to tie his shoelaces because he just can't bend to tie them the morning after. Or his hands are swollen like lunchboxes and he can't even pick up a glass of water. Yikes, that sounds brutal. Next, it's obviously very taxing for the body. Dr. Bo Hightower, the director of medicine at Jackson Winklejohn, says the sport is very taxing on the body. Fighters can't stand up after their fights, and the effects don't wear off for months sometimes. A shot to the head can leave a player in a daze for days. Body shots leave their body sore. A punch to the ribs can make it hard to breathe. Even if the bout is grappling based, players injure their forearms, shoulders, back, and hips. And that's all if you're lucky enough to not break a bone. We're not sure if we'll call labored breathing lucky, but it beats having a broken arm for sure. Rashad Evans, light heavyweight champion, said that once he urinated blood after a fight for weeks. Paul Felder broke his arm in a fight and he couldn't pick up so much as a spoon even months later. He wanted to land a punch on Perry's jaw but missed and hit his head instead. The sheer force of the punch snapped his bone in half, and he was in rehab for months after just trying to get the strength in his arm back. Yeah, but why put yourself through all that? MMA fighters unanimously agree that winning is worth it. Doesn't matter how hurt you are, knowing that you beat someone up and won makes all the hurt worth it. Also, UFC contracts are often contingent on whether you win or lose. So a big fat paycheck soothes all blows too. But if you lose and everything hurts, that's rock bottom for sure. So how do you get back on your feet when you actually can't even stand up? Okay, so how do you get your strength back? UFC lightweight Michael Chiesa sums it up best. Fighters are their own worst enemy. They end up risking punches and kicks that get them in all sorts of pain. The first people to look after the fighters are the ringside physicians. These people are experts and can intervene if necessary. Backstage, a team of familiar doctors provide comfort and care to the fighters. When they're still processing the play and figuring out all of the places it hurts, they can tell them their injuries just by the way they walk and move. Some of these physicians have worked with the players for years, so they know their bodies pretty well at this point. If they think that the fighters need more care, they are taken to the emergency room or to their personal doctors. Before they get on the flight back home, doctors make sure their vitals are stable. There's no brain injury or internal bleeding. Then off they go, free to sleep in pain on a plane back home. But the real work starts at home. Fighters often don't even know they are hurt until all the soreness goes away. That can take up to 2 weeks. Only after that do fighters wonder if there's something serious going on, but they better act quick. UFC only pays for injuries that happen within 30 days after a fight, so it's a race to get the right diagnosis fast. And they don't fight until they're healed. Until then, they're suspended from state-level competitions to make sure they don't compete and injure themselves further. Dr. Hightower says the most common injuries are broken hands, toes, fingers, and shoulder injuries. Injuries are treated in many ways, depending on the severity. Sometimes they use soft tissue massage to ease the pain, compression, stretching, cold laser therapy, and cryotherapy to cure minor injuries and muscle soreness. Again, mild is a relative term here by all means. Dr. Hightower monitors for more serious conditions like rhabdomyolysis, where the kidneys are strained dealing with excess waste from the bloodstream. The recovery process looks different for each player though. Some take time to rest and heal, and others can't wait to jump back in the game. Dan Henderson admits that he wants to fight again the same night most of the time. We don't know if this is determination or just plain stupidity, but you gotta admire his spirit though. But some wounds aren't physical. Sometimes it's not even about your broken shoulder. Some scars run much deeper than that. Julie Kedzie still remembers how battered she felt after her loss to Sarah Schneider. This was a fight she should have won easily, but she made a big mistake at the start of the game game, and that landed her back. From there, things went from bad to worse. She turned to get out of it, but she turned the wrong way. Schneider had her in a rear naked choke now, and there were chain link marks on her face. She tapped out in 2 minutes. That defeat left injuries that took way longer to heal. A fighter's recovery routine doesn't only involve tending to bruises, but also battling depression. This is partially because of the all-or-nothing lifestyle that fighters live. For 8 to 10 of them, they live and breathe for the upcoming match. Everything from their sleep to their food is strictly monitored. Then the big night arrives. It lasts anywhere from 25 seconds to 25 minutes, and then that's it. The lights turn off and everything is gone. Fighters often experience severe depression and loss of purpose between their fights, and it takes just as much of a toll on them. Mental and physical health go hand in hand after all. Next, it's somewhat like a circus. Many have described it as being part of a circus. You pack and you move on as soon as the show is over. Jessica Rose Clark talked about her struggles with alcoholism as well. When there's nothing to look forward to, many fighters turn to drinking. Now she doesn't drink anymore and sets plans that have nothing to do with the fight. She goes back to running as soon as she can and also coaches other people at her gym to cope with post-fight depression. But those are not the only ways fighters cheer themselves up after a fight. Okay, what are the pick-me-ups? UFC edition. A big part of UFC training is control and training. So after a fight, many of them just like to relax a little bit, you know? Hang out with their family and friends and just take it easy before jumping into another grueling training regimen. The biggest luxury of them all, though? Food, of course. Fighters will eat all the food they denied themselves before the big day, eating as much junk and comfort food as they can handle. Felder says that his favorite thing to do is to stock up the house with as much junk as he can. The first thing to do is get a cheeseburger and then a cupcake with his daughter. Ah, simple joys. The ultimate dream for those 8 weeks is always to just sit back on a recliner, sip beer, and eat hot wings. Though some fighters prefer to cook a big meal for their friends to let them know they appreciate them and reconnect after the fight. Kedzi has the oddest of celebrations though. She likes to go to the mall and buy a pair of jeans that make her backside look great. Now that's a sure shot way to make yourself feel good, but soon enough, it's back to the grind. Despite all the pain it takes to recover after the fight, fighters just can't quit. Either their bank account needs the extra dollars or they just can't resist the call of another matchup. But one thing is for sure, there is no quitting this fighter life. Evans says that after a fight he can hardly eat or sleep. He is on such an emotional high that nothing even compares. According to him, it's better than any drug out there. The high is simply unmatchable for him, and after a few weeks, no matter how in pain you are, you'll find yourself back in training. That's if you can move your limbs though. That's it for today's video. What's the worst injury you've seen in a UFC fight? Let us know in the comments below. As always, please like the video and subscribe to our channel if you like our content. We'll see you soon with another insightful video for UFC lovers.